Hello everyone, Don here again with the latest update on my W.A.R Corsair project propeller. As you can see, I finally got it all finished out in primer. There's probably 6 or 8 coats of primer, basically a whole can I sprayed on this thing. Sanded it all down, filled it, sanded it, filled it. So this is where I'm at now. It's all been washed, cleaned up with some alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Now it is now ready for its final top coat color, and I'll be using some of this Rust-Oleum blue. I'll put a couple thin layers of that on there, let it dry real good, and probably do a little bit of wet sanding on it to make it nice and smooth. But this thing is literally as smooth as glass right now, so it should make a nice pattern when it's finished. So all it's left to do is throw some color on it, give it a little light sanding, some 440 or something, 400, wet sand, bring it to a nice polished shine, and then it'll be ready to start making the mold. I've went ahead and ordered up the gel coat, resin. I'll be using polyester resin to make the mold with. I've got some fiberglass matted cloth that will make the mold, probably at least 4 or 6 layers of cloth on each half of the mold. So that stuff will probably be coming the end of the week at the earliest, I'm sure. I bought it from the same place I buy my stuff for the airplane, through U.S. Composites. They actually have tooling gel coat, which is needed for, it's a thicker material. And then I just decided to go with polyester, regular fiberglass boat resin, not epoxy. That way it's polyester versus polyester as far as the resin and gel coat, so there won't be any incompatibilities. So once I get this painted up, I'll show you what it looks like before I sand it, and then maybe after I sand it. And then I'll start working on framing it up for a mold. So, alright, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I've got the first coat of blue on there. Got to tell you, that is some pretty blue. Looking at it in the viewfinder here, the camera, it doesn't do it justice. But it is a really nice colored blue. High gloss. Alright, that's the first coat, and the stuff went on really nice and smooth. But looking at it, you can still see little bits and pieces here and there, like, I don't know if that's dust, but it should polish up very nice. So I'll give this maybe a half hour or so to tack up good, and then I'll throw a second coat on there just to make sure I got enough. And it's going to be a very light sand, nothing more than just a polish job. And then we'll let that set, and then I'll get started on the cutting out the pieces for the mold. So these videos may seem to be a little far in between for the little bit of work that seems to be done, but it takes quite a bit to do the sanding, because every time I throw a layer of paint on there, I put it on nice and heavy, and I got to literally let it set all day until the next day before I can sand on it. And even then, it still tends to gum up the paper, but it's coming out real nice. In the meantime, I've been doing some work on the cabinet, making small changes to it, and now I've got it working extremely well. So well, I think it's actually a little thick on the media, so I'm going to probably try and water it down a little bit to get a little less media, because you can see how dirty that window is. It is really mixing thick and heavy, so, but it does do a good job. So I'll be doing more on that as I get more along with my project. So I've been doing a lot of little things in between this prop job as I can. And today it's not too bad. It's supposed to be like 50 degrees out. So, all right, that's going to be it until I'll throw another coat on. I may or may not come back with this, but as soon as I get something else added to this, I'll put her together and post it on YouTube. So I'll be back a little later. Alright, I've gone ahead and finished sanding the propeller pattern out. I had basically 2 wet coats twice on the blue. After the last part of this video, I had the first 2 coats of paint on it. Then I wet sanded those down, smoothed everything off, and was able to managed to cut through a light few spots into the primer. Okay, then so I cleaned her up and then threw on 2 more nice heavy wet coats. And now I've got those sanded down with some 320 grit. So it's pretty smooth. I'm not even going to bother polishing it. That's going to be fine, good enough. So as you can see, this is the start of the foam template that's going to be basically double-sided taped underneath the propeller to this. So this will all be flat on the bottom. And then up on this end you can see I've got it made so it's notched out. Here we go. So that'll go around the end and come up halfway. Once it's in there, it's got to come up halfway in the front and back. And again, this will be pretty level. Any little gaps that might still exist, like here, might be a tad bit. That'll get filled in with some clay. But the idea is to get that double-sided tape down, but I'm not going to do it right now because it probably might be a little while before I can get to do the gel coat and get it ready. But the rest of the foam I'll use after this is taped down to build strips on this to give it the correct contour front and back and make it kind of a 2-dimensional block. It'll be basically hot glued. And then once this is taped down and ready to go, this whole thing will receive several coats of wax, automotive type paste wax. Okay, then after that, this is the gel coat I've got. It's a orange tooling gel coat. It uses some of the same MEKP that the epoxy resin uses. And then this is the PVA agent. That'll be a couple coats of light sprayed on there, which is also a release agent. And this little thing here is a bottle of wax to add to the last coat of the glass and the last coat of the tooling, because this tooling doesn't have the wax in it. So when it sets up, it's always tacky after it's cured. So the wax, just a couple, it's only like 2 ounces for a gallon. This is only a quart, so it only takes a 1/4 ounce to do the whole can. But you add that wax to it, and when it dries, it makes it sandable and it doesn't gum up. But none of these products come with this wax, so you got to add that little bit of wax in there. I might just put it in every coat, who knows. But then once this is taped up and waxed up, and then the PVA sprayed on, then it's ready to lay up the fiberglass matting cloth. And then this resin here, it's all polyester based resin. So this stuff is very, very smelly. You can't do it in the house. And now the temperatures are 30s and belows. Weather finally caught up to us here. So I may not be getting much further with this till maybe spring. We'll see. I don't know if I can take it anywhere and do it, but it's pretty obnoxious stuff. If you ever worked with regular Bondo for a car, you'll know what it smells like. So that might be the last update for now, for a little while on this. If I am able to actually start making the mold, I'll take and record what I'm doing. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. It'll be kind of a short one. So as always, any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to post them. I try to answer every one that I can, and appreciate all my followers and subscribers. So for now, this is going to do it for this video. Just trying to get a little more up over the winter so you guys don't have to wait until spring to see anything. Otherwise, I'll just keep plugging away on what little stuff I can. Alright everyone, again, thanks for watching. Appreciate the likes and subscribes. Alright, we'll catch you guys later. This is Dino Don out.